3 cops stormed in like it was Hollywood, boots stomping, flashlights swinging, except this wasn't bravery, it was pure stupidity. They picked the wrong target. The doorframe splintered, and Evelyn Cross shot upright, sheets wrapping around her legs. Blinding beams hit her face, but she didn't cower. While they tore through her drawers like toddlers on a sugar high, she was memorizing badge numbers, the tremor in one sergeant's hands, the smirk on the lead detective. And there, hanging on the wall in plain sight, was a jacket embroidered in gold with 3 bold letters, FBI. They walked right past it, too arrogant to notice. Can you imagine the audacity, planting evidence in the home of a federal agent? Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. The lead detective, Cole Renair, barked, "Hands where we can see them." Evelyn lifted them slowly, not with fear but with calculation. Around her, the apartment looked like a tornado had kissed it. Drawers yanked, furniture overturned, papers scattered like confetti. And then Renair, slick as oil, slipped a plastic bag into her purse before yanking it back out like he'd struck gold. Powder gleamed under the beam. "Well, well," he sneered, proud of his pathetic magic trick. Evelyn's lips curled in the faintest smile, because she'd already caught him red-handed. The sergeant fumbled in her closet, hands trembling. "Nervous much?" Evelyn sat taller, voice sharp. "I need to see your warrant." His head snapped toward her. "We don't need a warrant for a noise complaint, sweetheart." "Oh, so now illegal raids are called noise complaints? Cute." Evelyn's tone didn't waver. "You do for a search this invasive. You've gone well past the scope of any noise complaint." The captain stepped forward, cold voice rehearsed. "Ma'am, we received reports of drug activity at this address." Evelyn locked eyes with him. "From whom? And what specific probable cause justified breaking down my door?" The silence that followed. Deafening. The 3 men exchanged glances, their silence heavier than the splintered door behind them. Finally, the sergeant muttered, "Anonymous tip said you were dealing." Evelyn almost laughed. "Anonymous tips? Really? That's the legal equivalent of playground gossip. Anonymous tips don't justify warrantless searches of private residences," she shot back, cool as ice. "Can you believe they still tried to act tough after that?" Detective Renair's jaw tightened. "You think you're smart?" Evelyn leaned forward, voice razor-sharp. "I think you're violating federal law." The man actually lowered his tone, whispering like he was in control. "Listen, lady, we found drugs in your place. You can cooperate, or we can make this very hard." Oh, so now he's playing gangster cop. But here's the kicker, she didn't flinch. "What would you do?" the narrator in me asks, "if police stormed into your home in the middle of the night, planted evidence, and dared you to stay silent?" Evelyn wasn't staying silent. She tilted her body toward their glowing chest cams and announced, crystal clear, "I'm being arrested on planted evidence. These officers entered without a warrant or probable cause. I never consented to this search." Now, that's how you flip the script. Renair pulled out the cuffs, metal clinking. "You're under arrest for possession of a controlled substance." Evelyn let him slap them on, but made sure the cameras caught everything. "I have the right to remain silent," she said before twisting the knife. "But I also have the right to speak. This is a false arrest based on fabricated evidence." And here's where it got worse, because every word she spoke cut deeper into their panic. The sergeant's grip tightened as he shoved her forward. "Move." But she didn't stop. "I am requesting immediate legal counsel. I am requesting a supervisor. I am requesting a review of your body camera footage." Each line was sharp, like she was reading their corruption charges in advance. The cops exchanged nervous glances. They had no clue that every second of this clown show was being captured, not just on their body cams, but also on hers. Inside the Rivergate station, fluorescent lights buzzed like dying flies while Evelyn was marched in cuffs. The cops shoved her like she was livestock, muttering loud enough for everyone to hear. "Look at her," Renair scoffed. "Thinks she's special. Just another loud black woman who doesn't know her place." You'd think that insult would sting, but Evelyn wore it like proof of their ignorance. At the booking desk, Sergeant Dwyer rattled off charges. Cocaine possession, resisting arrest. Evelyn's tone sliced right through him. "I didn't resist." The desk sergeant's pen actually froze mid-air. "Now pause. Doesn't it say a lot when even another cop hesitates? But before doubt could grow, Renier cut him off, spitting, "She's a problem, always running her mouth. Animals like this don't learn unless we cage them." Racist venom dripping. And Evelyn didn't blink. The fingerprinting started, cameras snapping. Each shove, each violation, she cataloged like evidence stacking in a case file. Then came the wallet. The desk sergeant flipped it open and frowned. "Here. You work for the federal government?" Renier's hand froze, just for a second too long. And isn't that telling? Evelyn's FBI ID sat plain as day, and suddenly the bullies realized maybe they'd picked a fight with the wrong woman. But did that stop them? Of course not. Renier leaned in close, voice like poison. "You think that badge will save you? Not in my house. We bury rats here." Evelyn's smirk said it all, because his house was crumbling without him knowing. Meanwhile, in the equipment room, Officer Monroe scrolled through body cam footage. Rewind, play, rewind, play. And there it was, clear as sunlight, Renier's hand slipping the baggie into Evelyn's purse. Monroe's stomach twisted. The so-called evidence wasn't discovered. It was planted. And here's the real twist. Her phone buzzed. A text from Renier. "Delete the footage." Now, what would you do? Protect your corrupt brothers in blue, or expose them and risk everything? Monroe stared at the message, her pulse hammering. Monroe typed back, "Copy that." But her fingers weren't loyal to corruption. They were loyal to conscience. Instead of deleting, she uploaded the footage to a secure federal server. Can you imagine the irony? The very evidence Renier wanted erased was now sitting in the FBI's hands. Minutes later, Evelyn's emergency beacon went live. In a quiet office across the city, Assistant Director Marcus Hale jolted awake. This wasn't just any agent in trouble. Evelyn Cross was his best undercover investigator. 15 years in the Bureau, 18 months deep inside Rivergate's rotten core. And now, the wolves had cuffed the hunter. "Full response, now!" His voice triggered a storm. Tactical teams geared up. Lawyers drafted sealed warrants. Black SUVs tore through the night. Meanwhile, Evelyn sat in the interrogation room, Renier spreading fake files like he was playing judge. He leaned close, hissed, "Stop saying the word planted." Evelyn's voice dropped low, lethal. "Then stop planting evidence." The man went pale. Why? Because the name she dropped next was a bomb. Operation Iron Justice. Ring any bells? How would you react if your victim revealed she'd been investigating you all along? Panic spread outside that room like wildfire. Officers whispered into phones. Orders barked to destroy evidence. But it was already too late. Every file, every radio call, every dirty secret was being siphoned straight into federal servers. At dawn, Rivergate Police Station shook under the sound of heavy boots. FBI tactical units poured in, voices echoing. Federal Bureau of Investigation. This facility is now under federal jurisdiction. Some officers froze. Others scrambled to hide files. But resistance? Useless. Renier, Dwyer, even Captain Holt, all slammed against walls cuffed, their shiny badges suddenly nothing but cheap metal. And then came the silence that broke them completely. Evelyn Cross walked in, no cuffs this time, her FBI windbreaker glowing like armor. She wasn't just the victim. She was the lead investigator. Every crooked officer she had tracked, every illegal search she had documented, every planted bag of powder was now evidence stacked high in court. The trials gripped the nation. Renier sentenced to 20 years. Dwyer got 12. Holt, 15. Evelyn stood outside the courthouse, cameras flashing, reporters shouting. Her answer was steady, sharp. Justice requires patience, courage, and persistence. Truth doesn't vanish. It waits to surface. And here's the best part. Monroe stood beside her, proof that even inside corruption, someone chose conscience. Isn't that the real victory? So if you believe real justice only begins when the truth is exposed, like, share, and subscribe. Because stories like this aren't just drama, they're warnings.